Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
Me, Rob. Let's get the show on the road.
Let's go!
All right, let's go.
So yeah, today, as we're done now with flipping hot dogs and hamburgers, as Evan Neal suggested we do for a living, we're now on to the Miami Dolphins and New York Giants matchup this weekend here in Miami. And yes, Evan Neal did actually say that about New York Giant fans. All we do is flip burgers and hot dogs for a living, apparently. So yeah, not a way to ingratiate yourself with the fans, Evan Neal.
If he keeps playing the way he's playing, that'll be his next career too.
Yeah, it's like one thing if you're playing well and you have one bad game and you're like, shut up, I had a bad game, it happens. You've sucked for almost for a year and a quarter now. Like, stop.
Yeah.
He's quickly becoming the least favorite Giant. And that's saying a lot in this shitty roster. All righty, guys. As we start off, as always, it's time to go over the injury reports here. Injury reports. And there's a lot. There's a lot here. And that's on both teams here. So let's go over first the did not practices for the Giants. Shane Lemieux has not practiced with a groin injury the last 2 days. John Michael Schmitz also did not practice the last 2 days with his shoulder injury that he got on Monday night. Andrew Thomas with his hamstring injury did not practice the last 2 days. That's 3 offensive linemen, guys. That's not good.
Last week.
Yeah. You want to know why we went out and got Justin Pugh? I wonder why.
Yeah. Interesting.
I wonder if something in this could be why. Limited in practice. We got a whole laundry list of people here now. Saquon Barkley limited with his ankle injury the last 2. Daniel Bellinger with his knee injury limited the last 2. Gary Brightwell ankle injury limited the last 2. Marcus McKeithen, another offensive lineman, knee injury limited practice the last 2. Azeez Ojulari with his hamstring limited the last 2. Evan Neal with his butt injured the last 2. He's been buttered apparently. No, hand and ankle. Wan'Dale Robinson with his knee limited practice the last 2 days. Micah McFadden was off the practice report Wednesday, popped on today with an ankle injury. So a lot of names that are kind of up in the breeze here, and we'll have to see, what happens with them long term here. On the Dolphins side, much shorter, but they have their own version of the Andrew Thomas injury in all-world tackle Teron Armstead also being injured with back, ankle, and knee, they list. Back, ankle, and knee. It's kind of hard to play the left tackle position.
Ankle and knee.
Yeah. Head, shoulder, knees, and toes. So he did not practice the last 2 days. Cornerback Justin Bethel and running back Raheem Mostert did not practice because of rest on Wednesday, so they pop up on the list there, but they practiced today full. There's no injury to report there at all. Braxton Berrios limited in practice the last 2 days, knee injury. Lester Cotton, offensive lineman, ankle, limited practice the last 2 days. Deshaun Elliott, groin injury, limited practice on Wednesday, full participant though today. Offensive lineman Rob Jones, knee injury, limited practice the last 2 days. Nick Needham, the corner with Achilles, limited practice the last 2 days. Jillian Phillips, who is one of their better pass rushers out there, oblique injury, limited the last 2 games there. I was listed practices there. And center Connor Williams, groin injury, limited in practice the last 2 days there. So there's a lot of we don't know who's going to play at kind of scenarios going on. So we're going to assume if they're limited, they're going to play. And we're going to assume if they're if they're not practicing, they're not going to play, except the exception of Saquon, because we know it's 50-50.
Yeah, it's a flip a coin.
It's 50-50. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
Last week was a hope and a prayer. This week is beyond. It's not going to. All right, so let's get into the offense and what we got to do on offense. And let's just say it's a lot different than what we have to do the last couple weeks. We're going to simplify this a little bit.
You got to score more points.
Oh, yes. The keys to offense, exactly. You have to score.
Yes.
Crazy concept. You have to put points on the board. You also have to block. You cannot allow people just to get through and hit the quarterback. Crazy idea. You also have to attempt to not give the ball to the other team.
Yeah, turnovers.
That's our three keys to victory for the offense here. Score points, block people, keep the ball. It's crazy.
Pretty simple.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah, it really is. So let's go over a little on the Dolphins on their defense, because obviously it's 4 weeks in. We know pretty much what the Giants' offense is. It's poop. It's poop. Let's be honest. Besides those 2 quarters in Arizona, it's poop. The pass rush for the Dolphins has been pretty average, but it's also been a little bit spread out. Andrew Van Ginkel, which is one of the funnest names to say in all of professional sports. Van Ginkel is the only Dolphin with more than 1 sack. He's got 3 sacks. The big thing, if you really want to attack the Dolphins, is attack them through the air, which is scary considering how our offense has been so far. The Dolphins are allowing a 104.9 passer rating so far this year, which is 28th in the league. They're ranked 29th in pass completion percentage allowed, 28th in yards per attempt allowed in the passing game, 25th in passing yards per game. What does that all equal? Bad.
And another crazy stat, which falls in the Giants' favor, so is they give most of those up to slot receivers.
They do give a decent amount. And, Josh Allen last week tore them up. And don't get me wrong, Daniel Jones is nowhere near Josh Allen. But 320 yards and 4 touchdowns he had last week. So he tore that defense apart. And let's be honest, he stopped at one point. Just stopped trying because it was so far ahead. There was no need. There's one guy in specific I want us to keep an eye on. Cornerback Kader Kohou, who has allowed a passer rating of 150 on this season. 150.
My God. Just bully that man.
I feel like we need to, whoever he's guarding, we just need to go for that guy and just call it a day. That's bad, guys. That's really, really bad. They also have ex-Giant Eli Apple on their roster. So I don't know about you guys, but I would love to see Eli Apple get his butt whooped against the Giants.
Love to see him get him a touchdown. He did that a lot for us.
It'd be fun. So let's hope and pray. Yeah. Let's hope and pray that's what happens, is we see a lot of that. But Kohou is an actual starting corner. You're going to see him. And we're going to see a lot of him. And hopefully we're going to see a lot of plays against him. Because that seems to be the key to scoring on the defense there. Now, one nice thing is we talked about trying to hold on to the ball. The Dolphins have not gotten a lot of interceptions. They've gotten 2 overall in the season. One of them was by Emmanuel Ogbag, which is he's one of their defensive ends. So it's not like there's even like a lot in the secondary, which is, if a defensive end is getting an interception, that means he batted the ball down at the line and got it. You don't really take that as much as an interception where you just made a bad throw. That's just pass rush got to you. And if you look at what they're doing against the run, the Dolphins have been much better against the run. And one thing that I do find a little concerning is the Dolphins have given up just 3.3 yards per carry to quarterbacks this season so far. And they have played against some mobile quarterbacks, including, we mentioned Josh Allen last week there. So, that's one thing we talked about before, especially if Saquon's out. We need, Daniel Jones design runs. And even if Saquon's in, I really want to see more Daniel Jones designed runs because let's be honest, as far as I'm concerned, this is the last year I want him starting for us anyway. So I'm not too concerned about his long-term health as far as a quarterback anymore.
Well, also,
but then on top of that,
if Barkley's coming off this injury, I don't want him to run that much, but you have to respect him in the backfield. So design DJ to run more to protect Barkley.
But my whole thing is you gotta respect DJ as a runner, and I think that's one of the things that's the offense this year is we've kind of Justin Fielded him to a certain degree. Same as Justin Fields isn't allowed to run very often. There's not a lot of design runs for DJ. I feel like it's like we do them in the very beginning of the game, and then we stop and try to make him a pocket passer. He's not a pocket passer. The best thing we can do is give him a chance to take option routes, take runs that are designed for him specifically, and you got to do it like once or twice a drive, as much as I hate to say that often, but once or twice a drive, and give him the chance to confuse the defense and make the defense trust that they have to kind of keep their distance to a certain degree because he may run here, he may throw. Keep them on their toes. We're not doing that. We're very predictable right now. And DJ is a predictable quarterback as it is. We talked about that in yesterday's episode. He stares at his intended target. The way to stop him staring, move him. Move him around because you have to look where you're going or you fall flat in your face. That's life.
Usually.
Yeah. So, they need to use that more often. Now, as far as to running backs, they're allowing 4.6 yards per carry to running backs this season. So, if hypothetically Saquon is back, it could be a pretty good game for him. That's a pretty decent average overall to be giving to running backs. It's not, crazy high, but that's relatively high. It's above average. I'll put it that way. So, hopefully he gets back. Hopefully he's healthy because we need him. We need him. And we really, what we really need also is, again, I'll say it again publicly, Brian Daboll has to take over the play calling. Something's got to give because we need some more magic like we saw in those 2 quarters we had against the Cardinals there to end that game because that was the only time this offense has looked good this entire season. The only time. And we all think and we all know that Brian Daboll was the one making those play calls. So let's go with it. As Rob's moving around here.
I think I got short of my wire. I apologize.
So we just need to have it like that way. We need to go ahead and have an exciting offense. We need to have an offense that can put up some points because we're going to need to put up some points this week, guys. Even
just in general.
Bad week. The Dolphins will put up some points. Yeah. But yeah, I want to see Darren Waller ball out for once. I really want to see it. I wanted this to be the week that we see the Darren Waller that we were all told was amazing and could not be covered and everything this entire off season because we haven't seen it yet. And I'm telling you right now, if this continues, this is going to be a one and done for Darren Waller in a Giants uniform because he holds a huge contract and he's just not performing. And I'm not saying it's all on him. Someone's got to throw him the ball, obviously. But something's got to give, guys. You don't pay the kind of money you're paying to this guy for him not to do what he needs to do, point blank. And if we cut him at the end of the year, we get $7 million back. That's a good chunk of change, guys. So at this point, he's got to start fighting for keeping his job and keeping his contract going because no one's going to give him the kind of money he's about to get these next couple of years if he continues playing this way. No one. So, all righty. Any final thoughts you might have for us here on the offense there?
I mean, we pretty much hit it in the head. Block your quarterback. Quarterbacks got to be able to throw, and then design run plays.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Pretty simple.
And I mean, at least on offense too, we get to see Justin Pugh this week. I really think they're going to call him up in the practice squad. I think this guy just let him sit practicing on.
Yeah, I
think you're going to see. I think you're going to see Bredesen move over to center this week because I don't think JMS is going to play, and I think what's going to happen is you're going to end up seeing Justin Pugh, probably on the right side or the left side at the guard position. One of the two he'll take over. It's just sad because we got so much injured on the one of the weakest positions on our team, and it's killing a lot. It really is. So, all right, let's move on to happier thoughts with the defense. Much happier thoughts.
I'm so happy. Oh, so happy.
Where Wink Martindale was quoted as saying, "He's sleeping like a baby right now," meaning he's waking up every couple hours crying. He literally said that. I'm like, because he's that flustered with how the season's going so far for the Giants. See, that's a reaction to have, Evan Neal. Take notes. Take notes. The offense is really the big beast here that scares everybody as far as playing these Dolphins. And to me, I'm telling you guys, I don't think there's as much a need to be scared as people are thinking out there. There really isn't. Our defense has not been the problem, and the Dolphins have literally just gone ahead and beaten the crap out of bad defenses. So, it's not to say that we're a great defense, don't get me wrong. But if you're going to pick one of the side of the balls to be worried about, it's the offense, guys. It's not the defense.
Yeah.
Because part of why the defense hasn't looked the best some of this season is because they can't get them off the field. You're going to score more points when the offense can't stay on the field. That's life.
Yeah, that's life.
That's life.
The Broncos defense was supposed to be good this year. They're god awful. The Chargers defense, the bottom 5 probably, maybe 7.
So I got the stats here for you, actually. I got the exact stats. I got them ready to go here for you. So Dolphins put up 34 points against the Chargers. They put up 70 points against the Broncos. They put up only 24 points on the Pats and only 20 points on the Bills. So it's been hit or miss. That's one of the things I was looking at when I was prepping for this episode. I'm like, what is the difference? There's got to be something. And I figured, let's look at the defenses. It's probably the defenses they're playing. So the Bills and the Pats have allowed passer ratings under 90 so far for the season. Denver is worst in the league in that category. Chargers, 25th. So, yeah, they're beating up on 2 bad defenses there, guys. Now, the Giants, they're 21st, allowing a 95 passer rating. So they're kind of between the two. Another key, Tua was not sacked against the Chargers or the Broncos. But he was against both the Bills and the Pats, including 4 times against the Bills.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you let Tua sit in the pocket, give him all the time in the world against a bad secondary, he's going to light it up.
Yeah, it's time for Sexy Dexy to do the sexy dance.
Yeah, it's time for a lot of them to do dances. Can Kayvon even repeat what he did last week? Giants only have 6 sacks in the season. That's bad. Kayvon has 3 of them. Yeah. It's the second worst in the entire league behind just the Bears. When you're in the same category as the Bears, that's not good. That's really bad. We're 27th in the league in QB hits. For a team that blitzes and blitzes and blitzes and blitzes, that's goddamn pathetic. We got to get better, guys. We got to get better. That's sad. That's really, really sad. So again, that's going to be the key to stopping, I think, the offense is getting some pressure on the quarterback and having good coverage, which sounds obvious, but if you look at the stats don't lie. When you play good defense, they don't score a lot of points. When they play a bad defense, they score Madden level points. 70 points, 34 points. Those are high level numbers there at that point. And they've been passing the ball around pretty decent as well. Keep in mind, obviously, everybody talks about, obviously the penguin and the cheetah there. Waddle's got 470 yards in the season. Tyreek Hill has 470 yards in the season in 4 games. That's pretty goddamn impressive. So that means he's on pace for about 2,000 yards receiving.
That's his goal.
Jalen Waddle was injured, didn't even play last week. He's got 210. Braxton Berrios, he's kind of been their third slot receiver there. He's been 146 yards on the season there. But, beyond that, they also have the running backs that take passes, especially Devin Achane. He's kind of come out of nowhere the last couple of years there, last couple of games, there, and got a couple touchdowns as a receiver. You got Robbie Anderson, aka Robbie Chosen. He's played 2 of their 4 games so far, but there's another veteran, a savvy veteran. Raheem Mostert, also as coming out of the running back position, is a decent receiver as well. So it's not just the Penguin and the Cheetah. It really isn't. But I'll say this: the Penguins got to get all of your. I'm sorry, the Cheetahs got to get all of your attention.
Yeah, it's going to be, and it's going to be interesting. Is Hawkins going to start as a corner this week?
He should. You got to give him a chance to work out the bugs.
I know, but I know there's some controversy, some talks. But we lined up 2 rookies against these 2 fast guys.
You know what, though? At the same point, I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think so. I think you're going to see Tyreek Hill be shadowed by Adoree Jackson. And then to put Banks on Waddle and Berrios, that's where you get into the issue with Hawkins because he's not a slot receiver. Do you want to put him towards the slot at that point? But to me, Adoree Jackson has to be the one to cover Tyreek Hill. You cannot put that on a rookie. That's asking for trouble. And if anything, you got to give him some help on top of that. Because the scary thing is, Tyreek Hill last week had, I think, like 40 yards. So he's got 470 yards in the season. So what does that tell you he had the first 3 games?
We had the one game, we had 200 yards.
That's insane. So, yeah. Let's see here. I got his game log here. So, and this is what we talked about before, the Pats and the Bills. If you look at his game log, it's huge. And this just solidifies in my head more and more that we have to stop him. 215 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Chargers. Against the Pats, 40 yards and a touchdown. Against the Broncos, 157 yards and a touchdown. Against the Bills, 58 yards. So he's got 98 yards in the 2 losses. So he's got 372 in the wins.
Yeah, so
you got to stop the cheating. You got to put a leash on him. It's the only way you're going to stop this offense.
A shot collar.
It's pretty obvious that the numbers don't lie on that.
Yeah,
shocking. Now we do need to go over, of course, the running backs as well in this whole thing here. So keep in mind the Giants have had a little bit of issues there overall. We've given 4.3 yards per carry to running backs on the season so far, so about average. But the biggest issue we've had is we have trouble tackling receivers and running backs that are faster in open space. We talked about Tyreek Hill already. Obviously, he falls in that category. But Devin Achane is another guy who falls in that category as well. And the last 2 weeks, that man has come out of nowhere and just been balling absolutely. So he had 1 carry for 5 yards in his first game, which was against the Patriots. He did not play in the game against the Chargers. Then against the Broncos, 18 carries, 203 yards. Then against the Bills, 8 carries, 101 yards. So he's not getting a lot of carries, guys, but he's making them count. He's got a yards per rush average of 11.4 yards. Which obviously you can't keep that up all year. It's not going to be anywhere where he's going to end up for the year. But the problem with him, he's so little that he hides behind the line. Like, you don't see him until it's too late and he's going full steam ahead, and the guy runs like, what, a 4.3, 4.4. So it's like, I'm pretty sure it's a 4.3 actually. So it's like you're coming at full speed, running that kind of speed, and you don't see him until he's a blur. It's hard to get a guy like that. The big thing is somebody's got to stick their helmet right to his freaking chest.
Yeah,
because he's tiny, like really, really tiny. He's 5'9", 188 pounds. And the big issue with that is that guy is not going to be able to take NFL hits all day long. He's not going to. So you got to put a helmet right on him. That's the only way you're going to stop him.
Yeah.
So in the backfield with them is Raheem Mostert, obviously guy played for the Niners for a while and followed McDaniels over to the Dolphins here. His average now is he's got 249 yards. He's got 5.2 yards per carry average. He's another guy though. They've never had a game where they've depended on the run. And that's part of why they got these high rushing yards. They're using the pass to set up the run as opposed to the run to set up the pass.
Absolutely.
So, if you look at his game log, 37 yards, 121 yards, 82 yards, and 9 yards. He's had 2 decent games. But if you look, it hasn't been they succeed when he succeeds. And that's why I said what I said before. It's all about stopping Tyreek Hill. You have to be able to try to contain him. You're never going to fully shut him out. But, yeah, you got to go ahead and try to contain the guy because that's going to be the key to the game here.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you said. You have to respect the Cheetah. You got to respect the Penguin. You even got to respect their Y3. And then guess what? A-Chain, he's like a little bullet coming out of the backfield. So they got weapons, and you got to respect it.
A China shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, it's easier said than done, guys. We say it like it's easy, but it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
So, so let's go on to the comments here, and then we'll go ahead and give our final thoughts here on the game. All right. So Dakota starts us off. He's on here 27 minutes before the show even starts. He says, "Jesus, 27 minutes." So I still think we should do 2 Giant Enemies podcast. We came back with, I think you mean frenemies, Dakota. He said, "That's good." Oops. How you guys doing? We're doing good, Dakota, except for the fact that the Giants suck. Absolutely suck. Connor, good to see you, man. It says, "It's poop, LOL. I'm on the toilet bowl." Thank you for sharing. Says,
usually when I'm on
other
YouTube.
Eli, LOL. Yeah, exactly. Nothing to do while pooping, watching things on YouTube. Connor says he stares because the receiver says, "I'm open." It says, "Pass to me, I'm open," and they aren't open. Just do play action passes. No one open, they're away. Throw it away or rush for yards. Yeah, no, this is exactly what we're talking about, Connor. You gotta do more option routes where he has the option of throwing it if someone's open or tucking the ball in and just running with it. And for whatever reason, they're just not doing it. So we'll see. They seem to know something we don't know for some reason. I hate to say it that way, but it's like these guys know more football than we do. They should know, but I've seen some really stupid things in the past. So it's like some of my confidence in this coaching staff is going away because we are clearly being outcoached, point blank.
Yep.
Connor says, "How many plays have they had Darren Waller do motion before plays?" I think that they had him do a decent amount of motion. Actually, I do think that. But as far as I'm concerned, someone should be motion every single play to try to give DJ an option to see what's going on with the defense based on what the defense moves, because he has trouble reading defenses. Give him the help. That's going to help him.
Yes.
Deb says, "I have YouTube TV. Won't get the game. Whenever a game is on CBS here in Connecticut, they showed the Patriots game. I'm thinking I might be better off. LOL. You probably might be better off there." Yeah, I got the Sunday ticket, so I watched it on that. But if you don't, there is Dofu is an app that'll go ahead and give you the ability to watch legal streams of games. Just saying. I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying I've heard of my friend.
I may have heard. So I may have heard something you could Google called Sports Splurge, where you could get all your sporting stuff right off the webs, which is 100% totally legal.
Never heard of either one of these things. Yeah. Yes, never heard of these things at all.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's pay the bills real quick, and we'll give our final thoughts here on the game. because as you can tell, there's not really a ton to talk about. But let's be honest, we don't think the Giants are going to do very good in this game here. But we'll get to that in a minute in the final thoughts.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
Alrighty, guys, time for our final thoughts.
Woof. That's our thoughts.
Our final, definitely woof. Because listen, guys, if we win this game, I'll be shocked, absolutely shocked, and I'll be happy shocked. That means hopefully there's more wrong and there's hope for the season after all. But I don't see a way this happening. And I hate to be that pessimistic. We went into this season with such high expectations and high hopes, but they've been just dashed away. It's not because who we lost to or where
It's how we lost.
We were exactly where I said we'd be this season, except for the Seahawks game. So far, I was right on 3 of the 4. But the problem we run into is exactly how we lost. We got absolutely embarrassed against the Cowboys, but I hope it'll be at least a close game. The 49er game was at least closer. And there's a lot of injuries that were waiting for us to go, okay, we had all these injuries, blah, blah, blah. We were in the fourth quarter. It wasn't as bad. But then we get absolutely spanked on Monday against the Seahawks. I just don't have any confidence in this team anymore. I really don't. And I hate to say it that way, but I think this is going to be a loss. I don't think it's going to be a 70-point, kind of put up like they had against the Broncos. But I just don't see a way that we're going to win. I really don't.
Yeah, there's a glimmer of hope that is very, very dwindling. But don't count on the Giants to win. I would love to say the Giants win 33-27, but it's more likely that it's going to be 27-10. And that's me giving hope to the Giants getting 10 on the board.
Yeah. So I have as the 3 keys to victories here. Very simple, because let's be honest, you can't expect miracles here. The keys are improve on offense. We have nowhere to go but up, guys. Can't keep not scoring, especially in the first half. You can't go in with no points on the board in the first half and expect to win games. It's not going to happen.
No, I mean, even last year we're the second half. Even last year we're a second half team, and it was just we squeaked out games that we shouldn't have squeaked out, and it's just not working for us this year. We gotta do better coaching on that line and put some points up.
Squeaked out? Are you talking about Connor's comment?
Yep.
The second is we talked about when on defense, the key it's contain Hill. Hill is what makes this defense, his offense go around. And if we can control Tyreek Hill, and I don't mean stop him entirely. He's going to get at least a couple catches and all. It's just he's too good to shut out completely. But if you can keep him from being the guy to kill you, you have a decent chance of shutting down this offense and making it average to slightly above average. That's what they were against the Pats and the Bills. They weren't elite anymore because they stop what makes them elite, which is Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, and if we could do to Hill what we did to Metcalf, we have a chance of be in this game. Not win, but end it.
Yeah. We won't be embarrassed at least. That'd be nice. Be able to change of pace. The third key to the game that I have here is just fundamentals. One simple word, fundamentals. What I mean by fundamentals is don't turn the ball over, tackle, catch balls, block. The bare expectations based on the position you play. Don't fumble punts. Simple things.
As Bill Belichick.
By the way, I did see an article on that. Go ahead.
As Bill Belichick. Do your job. Eat turkeys.
So as I mentioned about the muff punt from last week, the muff punt return, I should say, just a heads up to everybody, Eric Gray is going to be taking the duties back over this week. So at least there's some good news because Adoree Jackson being back there again, I wanted to freaking start throwing crap. And I'm sorry, Brian Dable, when you're not doing very good as a head coach in the fans' eyes, the worst thing you can do is repeat mistakes from last year. That was repeating the mistake. Stop that. I don't care who you put out. You put anybody out but Adoree Jackson. He should be nowhere near a goddamn punt.
Yeah. Gary Brightwell would have been a better job than.
That annoyed me.
Yeah. Brightwell would have been.
I'd be fine with Jalen Hyatt even.
Yeah. And we talked
Jalen
about
Hyatt would have been perfect. Yeah. You're not using him on offense. You want to use him on special teams because the guy actually is open quite often. Daniel Jones just doesn't throw the ball.
And he's really fast.
He's
so fast.
Think fast, be fast.
You know what?
All right, guys.
After the game is over, Hill and Hyatt should have a race, 100-yard dash.
Well, I actually would enjoy that probably more than actually watching the game.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. I would actually enjoy probably more than I'll enjoy the game. It is what it is. Deb asks, any good QBs coming out of the 2024 draft? And yeah, there's a few of them, that's for sure. This is going to be a very, very heavy QB draft. So, we'll have to see how things go overall, though, because there's a lot of them at that point. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Shador Sanders, obviously part of that whole thing as well. I think you're going to see this board kind of change here and there. You can have a guy also like maybe like Bo Nix who's been playing, it seems like, for the last 10 years at Oregon. So, it depends on how bad our season is, who we end up going with. Because I'm telling you right now, I do think we will get a quarterback in the first round of this draft, assuming that it stays this way. Because we can't keep up with this. Daniel Jones can play for this year. He can be the backup or the the lame duck QB for one more season next year, and then it's on to the next one. Connor says Caleb Williams, but I don't like USC QBs, but he's lighting it up so far, Deb. Yeah, he's the big one, but we're gonna have no shot against him. I'm telling you right now, the Bears will get him. He will be the Bears quarterback next year. Because the Bears not only have right now the number 1 overall pick, guys, but because of the trade they made for Bryce Young, they have the number 2 overall pick. Trust me, they will figure out how to get the number 1 overall pick, even if they somehow win their way out of it. They're going to get it. So, all righty, guys. So, we will see you guys again on Sunday. It's going to be nice to have a Sunday post-game episode here. So, we've had so many Thursdays and Mondays and all these different days here. So, it's nice to actually have a Sunday. Yeah, exactly. It's like we'll be done at 1 o'clock. So, you'll figure we'll probably be on around 4:15, 4:30 or so. Basically, whenever the game is over, we're going to be right on for you guys here. So keep an eye out once that game's over. Just run onto YouTube there. We'll be here waiting to see you there. Hopefully with some little bit better news and a more positive attitude we've had the last couple of games that we've been flipping out and going WTF. Connor says Bears may not, Caleb may stay in college. Listen, if he stays in college, he needs to talk to Matt Leinart first. I'm just saying. Matt Leinart will tell him. He'll set him straight why you don't stay in college for a year. What happened?
Bears. So the Bears are winning 10-0 right now.
He said the Bears are winning. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens overall because it's they haven't played very well in the second half of games. They've been doing really, really bad. So all right, guys. We will see you guys again Sunday. And of course, remember, guys, we'll be on the second that game is over. So regardless of what the start time says, when the game's over, that's when we're on. So we will see you guys again on Sunday. As always, Giant fans. Go, G-Man! Oh, there you are. I was wondering. I do it by myself there for a second. J-Man.
J-Man.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?
Thank you to those who have signed up for our silver gold levels of membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.